Well, I mentioned the next event on the track is the 3,000 metres. There have been many wonderful middle distance performances in this stadium over the years, world records amongst them. But this is promising to be very fast, this 3,000. They've asked for 60 seconds per lap, so obviously 7:30 would be the target. And I know that, having spoken to, for example, one of the strong Australian trio here, Stewie McSweyn, he said he's looking for the Australian record tonight, 7:32. There's Ingebrigtsen. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the phenomenon from Norway, the youngest of the three brothers. McSweyn in good form. He won that 1500 in Zagreb in 3:32 just 2 days ago at a canter, frankly. The national record he's looking for is 14 years old. It's Buster Mottrams. Remember him? 7:32.19 back in 2006. Kiplimo in only his second race of 2020 there in the orange. Perhaps inspired by Joshua Cheptegei, his compatriot, who set a world record in Monaco at 5,000. Will certainly give a good account of himself here, the former world junior champion at cross country. He's only 19 years old, Kiplimo, but world number 3 at 5,000 this year with a big win in Ostrava 9 days ago, 12:49. Ingebrigtsen, an astonishing talent. Bizarrely, has never broken 8 minutes for 3,000 outdoors, but that, frankly, will be a formality. Holds the world junior record indoors for 1,500 metres. Remember that fabulous double at the Europeans in Berlin over 1,500 and 5,000 at the age of 17. He'll be 20 on Sunday. Crippa, we've just zoomed past there, who's a very, very strong Italian who's improved in leaps and bounds this year. Resi Radzin, some of the lesser lights. Abdikar Sheikh Ali of Italy. But Jakob Ingebrigtsen, it'll be fascinating to see how he copes here against athletes like McSweyn. Because while you might think that Ingebrigtsen is a 1,500 metre specialist, you've got to remember he's run 13:02 for 5,000. He's got everything in the locker. So as these 14 starters get underway, it's important that the pacemaker does get this job right. Sean Tobin of Ireland, with McSweyn slotting in behind him. And you can tell it's pretty quick, Steve, because less than 30 seconds the clock and we're almost down to single file straight away. Yeah, through 200 there in about 30 seconds dead.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far Tobin can actually go at the required pace. I'm going to be pedantic. They've spelled Ingebrigtsen's name wrong on his number. You can get that right. He's a big star. Anyway, you can't get disqualified for that. But, you know, I think that's the problem here, Tim, isn't it? He's finding... I was so impressed with McSweyn taking it on the other night in that 1,500, you know, and he's full of confidence. So it might mean that, I don't know, you know, we need a good race between those top 3 and 4, because I'm just not sure that Tobin can get too many laps in at the required pace. But, you know, if they get 2 or 3 in, they get a good tempo going, and then the likes of McSweyn wants to keep it going, then we could be in for something good.
McSweyn in second place. He said to me this morning that he feels absolutely great, even though he raced that 1,500 in just 48 hours ago, and he spent much of yesterday travelling from Zagreb in Croatia through Split, and then they had COVID tests to contend with. Spent much of the day travelling yesterday, but he said he feels fine. The pace is quick, there's no doubt about it. McSweyn in second place, and the tiny figure of Kiplimo in orange in third. And I think the big figure of Matt Ramsden in fourth. Ingebrigtsen in fifth place, single file at the moment. But Tobin, it's important he goes as far as he can, holding the right tempo. Don't stay at the front if you can't hold it, because that will hold them back. We've got a great race in our hands building up here, Steve, as well. So we hope a really fast race. And it's a good job being done here by Tobin. I think a click under 2 minutes there at 800.
Yeah, good pace being set at the moment. He's certainly right on the mark. He just would love them, or they would love him to get another couple of laps if he can, even a lap and a half at this sort of pace, not letting it drop. But you're right, McSweyn just looks, he's a beautiful looking runner as well. He's a lovely mover and looks nice and relaxed there, just having a little look at the clock, checking that all the ones he expects to be there are there. His teammates just ahead of Ingebrigtsen. 2:29, Tim, 0.55, perfect, absolutely perfect first kilometre. It's quick, very quick, but right on schedule, and they've done it smoothly. That's really smart, really good pacemaking.
Stewie McSweyn in second place will be delighted, because when he won the 1500 in Zagreb 2 days ago, the pacemaking was poor. After 2 laps, he went past the pacemaker and he banged in a 55-second third lap. That is viciously quick. He rips off his number there, his front number. But his third lap was so quick, he built up a big gap in the opposition, and he won comfortably in 3:32, a very quick time. But I think it was a case of what might he have done. Maybe got that Aussie record at 1500 if the pacemaking had been better. These 4 beginning to get away. Ingebrigtsen towards the back of the pack. And I'll tell you what, Matt Ramsden in 5th place, beginning to suffer. Cripper has gone past him there, and that's a red wine red Palencia top. He's in fabulous form.
Duplantis in the pole vault, just pauses. 585 his first attempt. 3 men left in this: Duplantis, Broders and Obiena. Those 3, the only 3. We saw Lavillenie, of course, fail. So Duplantis aborting that attempt. He's still got time on the clock though, but he's taking his time to go back. Maybe we can go back this 3,000. He says.
Hopefully. Well, Duplantis is special, but this race is building into something pretty special as well. They go through 4 laps there in pretty much spot on 4 minutes. I'll tell you what, I think Sean Tobin's going to start setting personal bests pretty soon. From the front there, McSweyn looks to almost be holding back. Kiplimo in second, Ingebrigtsen in third. Cripper hanging on to this quartet as Tobin moves aside now. He's done a fabulous job. But Ingebrigtsen, well, his season includes that fabulous European record at 1500 in Monaco just a month or so ago. He also set a European record for 2000 in Oslo back in early June of 450. He's got the full cupboard, if you so to speak, as these 3, the big 3, now get away. I thought Ramsden might stay with them a little bit longer.
Tim, this is going to be quick. Let's see how high Duplantis can get here. 585 the bar set at. Whoa! Completely missing it there. Shake of the head. Got that all wrong. Thankfully came down on the mat. I was going to say, Tim, this is quick. Watch them going through 2,000 metres here. It's going to be right on the 5-minute mark. And let's assume they're going to go quicker in the last kilometre, because they must do with 3 men there. Ingebrigtsen is still looking fairly comfortable. Looks like he wants to get closer to McSweyn. Hats off, as you said, to Tobin. He's set this up beautifully. We are in for a cracking race here. It's going to be fast.
Just over 2 laps to run then. Ingebrigtsen looking very relaxed. He's had not only Tobin, but other men in front of him as pacemakers for some 5 laps and more now, as McSweyn glances up at the big screen. He can see what's going on behind him there. 2 laps to run, a 59.83. He's gradually cranking it up, trying to turn the screw on the men behind him, who he knows are fabulously quick at 5,000, who he knows have great speed. Ingebrigtsen has astonishing speed endurance. Ryan Gregson, the Australian record holder at 1500, ran 3:35 on Tuesday. Maybe he's feeling the effects of that one more than McSweyn. But these 3, with a lap and a half to run, battling it out. You could throw a blanket over them. Ingebrigtsen into 2nd place. It's the highest place he's been yet.
Ignore that caption, it's missing off McSweyn, but he's there. He's at the front where he's always been. Ingebrigtsen now deciding he wants to be a little bit closer. Just feels Kiplimo might be a little tired. As they're coming round, it'll be the bell this time. These 3 are set up for, all 3 of them are going to be rewarded with brilliant times, but who's going to come out on top here? How low can they go on this last lap? This is going to be incredibly quick, because Ingebrigtsen's off and Kiplimo follows.
Ingebrigtsen running tactically supremely, 60.4 that penultimate lap. Now he gets to the front, and Stewie McSweyn has got to hang on to their coattails, because that Australian record may be beckoning. Ingebrigtsen still looks so relaxed with that slightly forward lean of his powerful legs above a slim torso, and he just winds it up, and he never really looks like he's hit the throttle absolutely flat out. He just begins to imperceptibly accelerate, lengthens the stride. 200 to run, 6:59 there. They're going to go under 7:30 here, surely, as Cripper shows that he's been feeling the pace. They're back in 4th place. He goes through, he's still going to run a great time, but let's see the race up front as Ingebrigtsen hits the home straight with just Kiplimo on his shoulder. Who's going to get there? McSweyn there has got to hold on left to picture for that Aussie record, but Kiplimo battling towards the line, and he's going to get there. He's got the greatest strength. He's young too. They're both 19. What a race. 7:26.64. Boy, oh boy, one of the quickest times in history. And the meeting record, well, it was 7:46 by Jack Buckner, an old mucker of Steve and I back in 1984. That's been taken to the cleaners. What a run, and it's not often, Steve, you see Ingebrigtsen outstrengthed by another 19-year-old down the home straight. What an astonishing run, and that, I think, will be very close to the European record. It's the 8th fastest time in history. Only 30 men in history have gone under 7:30, and only 2 Europeans amongst them. A national record for Ingebrigtsen, of course, but 7:27.05 for Ingebrigtsen behind Kiplimo's astonishing run at McSwain. Well, he smashes that Aussie record, 7:28.02.
Well, what a race, first of all, and what a set of times. Just look at that. Ingebrigtsen just felt as though he needed to push on, and Kiplimo was smart and just stayed and stayed and stayed and was strong and patient. When you've got that 5,000 metre pedigree that he has, you're able to do that. No great pace to burn, just strength there at the end. Hung in there, and just managed to move past number 8 on the all-time list. And you look at a lot of those times, Tim, a lot of them were set quite a long time ago. In fact, ahead of him, the nearest recent time was Kenenisa Bekele in 2007, just outside the European record for Ingebrigtsen, as you mentioned. Murhit will still hang on to that, and McSwain with that new national record. But whenever we look at our computers and we see all these black squares which signify personal best, national records, etc., it's full of them. This screen is absolutely full of them. But hats off to Kiplimo, superb run. And I've got to give another huge honourable mention to the pacing. Sean Tobin, 4 and a bit laps, spot on 60 seconds every lap. There's lots of people would say, yes please, thank you very much. But what a race we were treated to there. Well done, all 3 of them. And indeed, so many behind them as well, but these 3 were the stars.
Weren't they just? And it wasn't really lightning quick, that final lap. It was a case of just hanging on with strength down the home straight there. Kiplimo easing past Ingebrigtsen, and you knew the young Norwegian had got his foot absolutely flat down on the hammer because he couldn't react, he couldn't respond at all. But boy, second quickest European time in history. And I'll tell you what, there's many people who look at Murhit's European record. He got busted for EPO towards the end of his career, and many will say that should be the European record, no doubt about it.
High jump, Tamberi, of course, on the home soil, and he's had so many great competitions in this arena. He's had a decent year. His last competition was a bit disappointing. He'd been unbeaten until then, and he's already gone higher than